What, Detective Army? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really?
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? You had said the attacker left the message to throw people off. It might have made sense. At first glance, it seemed to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Paul didn't shed enough blood to write an extensive message. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Even the vote makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. His justice did survive, so I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. But why did Detective Army write the defendant's name? There's no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I bet the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. They never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning... not what it appears to be. Maybe the message was not intended to be woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. Wish to assert that this bloody writing could have had some other meaning. Yes, Your Honor. Something I pulled out of a wormhole. Couldn't it to be true, right?
Objection!
It clearly says woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Army was a detective. Maybe woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may already guessed. This radio code is woods in the state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know it's not about you about police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, I must end the things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, before we discuss this theory any further, I made a possible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of this bunny writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling. You can't come up with an answer quickly. I will declare this session officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language, or maybe it's a code. Think, Phoenix, you can do this. What piece of evidence will tell us what the word woods really means? Woods, huh? Hold on. It does kind of look like there's more to that was broken off and we can't see. It does look like there's more that we can't see. I'm gonna give the photo a try. What exactly is your point, Mr. Wright? Well, that evidence was supposed to tell me what woods really means. But it doesn't, Your Honor? You're asking me, you're telling me. I guess I'll let you be the judge of that. Yes, I'll do the judging around here. And judges are a penalty. Ow. That didn't go over well. But I just know there's something here that looks like the word woods. Something that looks like the word woods, huh? Woods, huh? Like, I see woods, and there's like something else there, but you can't quite see it. Hmm. Maybe the dimensions of the bomb?
Take that!
No. No. Not at all. Hmm. Okay, let's try this again. I mean, if it's in this position, I guess... Maybe the transport case? I mean, that's what you've been looking at? I don't know. Let's give it a try. The bomb transport case. I haven't up to hear your shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Does this ring look vaguely familiar? L100. What does that have anything to do with anything? What could the number possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now please take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Oh, I think I see it. That a girl. That's one on my side. It says Woods. Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. First character isn't a W. It's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros. Oh, my goodness. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved in the bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. The number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
The number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to easily match quite easily. This other number on the trace trace can be made to match the bloody writing. You erase 2 lines. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D. Well, will you look at that? Lucis? No, Your Honor, it's meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact number that's on the tram transport case.
Objection!
Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else, but I'm erasing 2 lines. What if we erase the lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Wright? Well, would you, Mr. Wright? only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Army's real message was the bomb transport cases number. Your Honor, the 2 lines added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Army left behind was the transport case number. Whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then who do you suppose Detective Army is trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? You see this number here? That's my identification number. Candace Army lost her life in the courtroom bombing. The dying message could only have had one purpose. No! It tells the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us what you were trying to name. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than... the bomb specialist. Of course he would bomb things. The defense didn't indict Mr. Ted Tonate in charge of the courtroom bombing. Just Ted Tonate. Apparently disabling bombs is only Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. This is to use Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why do anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Why don't they simply write the person's name? He's got a good point there. What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright? Only Detective Army would know the case to that, but let me offer a theory. The Detective Army couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. To recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's hardly possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Maybe they're using ID numbers as a way to hide the true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. Detective the Marines, he wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number.
Objection!
Let us one moment here. Wouldn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Army who wrote it. Bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Army had left the message, it would have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tonate hid it before anyone could discover it. There's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Tonate was able to cover the message because he was the first one to find the body. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but ended up discovering a dead body. When Tonate saw the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Also, that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't return to try and scrub away the writing. He didn't report the body right away, who looked suspicious. The letters lived on to serve another function. When Mr. Tonate used them in another incident. Oh, the assault of Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. He didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding 2 lines to the writing Detective Army left behind. Change the meaning of the message. It looked like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber. It was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. That person is Ted Tonate. Yeah! Order in the court. Order, I say. Let's be able to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please let Mr. Tonate take the witness stand. Yes, Your Honor. That's great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. It's my time the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. Finally drawn Mr. Tonate back into the witness stand. You'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Mr. Tonade, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand that situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The accusations are all laughable.
Objection!
Wouldn't be laughing, or are you, Mr. Tonade? Messages in blood matches your ID number. Oh, hey, you brought it in. Same ID number that is there on that Brom transport case. That's a far-fetched theory. No better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have untangled for you in no time at all. You're the first person on the scene of the Detective Army after Detective Army left her message in blood. You're the one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see times two, but let me ask you. Do you have any proof that Detective Army wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove that Detective Army wrote that message is to... analyze the DNA. Your Honor, I request a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it'll be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I'd like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theories is. Witness testimony. After the explosion. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. But there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there's no way Detective Army could have written it. He took her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. He was too far away from where the bloody message was found. You're saying the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was. Precisely. It's as plain as day as she could not have written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there is blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. Huh. I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? No writing at the time. Took it on rubble and died near the court. That doesn't... Trauma to the back of the head caused but with a flat object. It looks fine in that picture, but that's not a flat object, that's a pointy object. I think that's bullshit. All of this. Where's the... there.
Objection!
You're a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Amy's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to the back of the head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Hey, you're right, boss, it is pointy. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? We're gonna be meaning this contradiction. It means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. Bloodstain, you see, is just another fabrication. It's purposely to mislead us and think the victim died near the courtroom entrance.